re-ripped this one. Never mind. Finally, at last, clear skies, hot weather, hot as hell. My God, hell would even be cooler than this at the moment. And this is just the AM. So, yep, the long-awaited remake of Heatwave. Used to be episode 2. I don't know, is it still episode 2? I'll have to think upon that. Maybe, yep, it is. Called Life. Life in the weather changes and climate. So I'm just going to change into something a little bit cooler and probably have a shave, and then I'll get back to you in a few seconds. I might show you some of the old clip of the original. I don't know, I'll think about that. Till then, I'll catch you on the other side, probably in about a minute. Well, it's one of those days. This was another one of those hottest days recorded in history, apparently. We were reaching low 30s, of the heatwave show. It's rather annoying because everywhere I go there's bound to be people about life and how life is evolving and coping with the strange extreme temperatures that we are going through. I mean, let's be honest, these temperatures are beyond any kind of a joke. In 88, temperatures reached a grand total of 28. And temperatures on the 28 raised in 98 even different. Now the temperature reaching 30 plus. Apparently they are the most recorded highest temperatures in England. London being one of the most hottest, reaching temperatures 32 plus. Now, we all know the series, climate change, how we're all coping, the end of the world. I still will stick to the one balance being of sight. Life is surviving, we're a part of life, the big cycle of life as it is. And that would be, temperatures, animals are coping, lifestyle, where I would have been filming, where I'd have caught a lot more life. Today, will I capture life is another thing. Because now the temperatures are dropping, not by much, it's only dropped 1 degree, and this is what, now 1900. 1900, and we're still reaching ridiculous temperatures. At the end of the day, you can hear the clatter, you may be able to hear all the clatter of the birds, not many butterflies, not many bees. I was going to give you a good example of what temperatures, as they keep motioning, as climate change is just an excuse. It's what scientists do not understand. They just missed the squirrel. Even below the old squirrel, they are coping with the sudden change of temperature. You can just probably catch its tail running around. Now, how do you reckon they are coping with such vast, extreme temperatures? Probably the same as us humans. Humans, we cope. We adapt. But there's only so much a person can adapt to. The world is full of life. There is blooms, trees. Without the sun, without extreme heat. Let's analyse what we would be like without such things. Without such things, we would have the trees being able to grow because they weren't getting enough light. Now, in the glasshouse theory would be thus. The clouds are getting thicker, there's a big hole in the big ozone above because of fuel. What we're doing away with fuel. Fossil fuels are on their way out. We're using other means to adapt. So already, us as humans, us in life, are adapting. And adapting we are. I mean, I feel sorry for the birds, even the insects. Some of the insects, though, because of this sudden climate change, you may notice or may not notice, in certain areas, you have a dragonfly which we ain't seen for decades, nearly a foot long. I only caught one the other day, and I love to film it because it's just a motion further to how life
changing, how the world itself is changing with climate change that we are going through. With our winters are getting less, our summers are getting more. Rather than all this stuff about climate change, the ozone's eating away. This happens every so many hundreds of years. You look through the history, mass wipes, mass extinction, from various reasons, albeit from things thus sudden cold temperatures, sudden hot temperatures. We are now in an era where temperature and climate are on the change yet again. The equators, you analyse it properly, the equator is not where it used to be. We've got more weather, more trouble, earthquakes, but life is still coping. Life is so adaptable with sudden increase in temperature, but where does it end? One would like to know. I mean, wildlife such, again, I like an MIC them. Little birdies like that. More and more of those type of species are being more frequent in an area that you wouldn't expect it. And that's because climate temperature has changed. We've got hotter temperatures. Not only we've got hotter temperatures, we've got less shorter winters. Each one of us, scientists, or non-scientists, have our own ideals. My ideal is as standard. I share that with everyone, and I think scientists should look at it. But yet life is still motioning on. Life would be lost without solar temperatures. I mean, the plants, the photosynthesis, that's the main credential. What I was saying with, without the sunlight as it is at the moment, photosynthesis would be very hard to happen. Only really because everyone's saying how all the climate's changing, the ozone's melting. Well, if it was, all these great plants, we are losing plants, but we are gaining older plants from the time before. Because a perpetual circle of life is what we always have to share, from animal to human. And that is the way life is. When you look upon the change, and then we've had earthquakes not too far away from our coast. Earthquakes in England. Who would ever imagine England, the lovely old little island in the sea, has earthquakes, has more frequent hurricanes? These are the things that are keep happening. Gone were the days when you could look upon a nice pond and you would see a great deal of life, but you would see action. I mean, this squirrel here. Now where would we see that? The squirrel surviving brings us back to how animals, squirrels disappeared, are adapting. More animals are getting more daring, more animals have to come into land to survive, because they're into bigger cities. Cities are where it is, cities where it's hot. London alone was 32 today, hottest recorded temperatures. Now it's so late in the evening, because even it was too hot for someone like me. I mean, many of us humans out here cope with it, and many of us find it very hot. Nice for a little while, but then you start getting tired of it. You know, but the life, it blooms everywhere. From the simplest of insects to even the vermin and the rats. Now I always say this, I guarantee if we analysed this, we were able to analyse this 100 years ago, at the end of August, and we're still in the height of summer, we're still in the height of a heat wave. A heat wave, 78, in 78, it started to rain, clouded skies, the whole caboodle. Now what we getting? Perpetual sunshine, less animals braving out the elements during the day. I mean, I would like to give you more of an example, show you more life, how life has changed, how life is changing. Because it is changing, because everyone's coping. Everything that we know is coping with, well, with the sudden change, sudden increases in temperature. You go down 20 odd years ago, you'd be pressed over then in America and the Middle East to have temperatures reaching, as they class it, 30 degrees, 32 degrees. Today, when reached the grand total at its very peak, reached 33. Scientists will still say, oh, it's climate changes. The Green Party will say, oh, our ozone's dying. No, our ozone is still repairing from damages that we do all the time when we test missiles, bombs, etc., etc., etc. From the wars we've had. But that ain't what is changing the temperature and the climate of this planet. Earth is warming up. That's a known fact, scientific fact. Earth is warming up. All the question is why is it warming? What is the cause? Ain't ozone. It's not just climate change. Climate change is happening all and every year. Climate changes every year. Every year it's either getting hotter or it's getting colder. But we will find in England, this little island in the sea, this big blue planet everyone treasures that exhausts everything they can from it. As we do, mankind, destroyer of land, destroyer of world. That's truly our title. But it's not because we're greedy. It's not because, we want to experiment with new fuel. It is because mankind is always perpetually searching and reaching. Like life, it copes with every way it can conceivably cope. And when it copes, it's great. When it can't cope, we start scratching our heads and say, oh, what are we going to do? Well, there's nothing we can do apart from adapt. And that's what we are doing. Whether we're aware of it or not, mankind, same as the animals on this planet, are adapting. They are coping with increased temperatures. They're coping with various other attributes of life in which we're all a part of it. They say once, another time, another poetry, we are but a chain of a bigger chain. We're a tool, we're a piece of machinery. We are just a part of the growing. Without that piece of machinery, there'd be no life. Life would die. 100 years time. Who knows what life's going to offer to us? Temperature is going to be extremely high. I would have shown clearly an example of how it is prospectively likely to turn, but I'm no scientist. I have an idea that I share with everybody, and everybody is what I'm sharing now. My ideals may not be the best, they're not scientifically proven or scientifically disproven. Man may be bright, but we're not that bright. Animals, they're in the chain like we are. With all of these in motion, life will still develop, will still grow, will still change. And when it changes to the degree of something who knows. Higher temperatures for some parts of the world. If you go to other parts of the world, they're getting cold temperatures. If you go to America now. America is a good example. Last year was the best example ever. In America, where in England we've reached our peaks of temperature. Our peaks of temperature are phenomenal, high. In America, their temperatures dropped way, way below any recorded knowledge to our, and it was shared formidably by many departments of government. Who knows? Scientists are saying. But we still label it with one little thing that I still have to say formally I do disagree. It ain't climate change, it ain't ozone waste. This is just the natural course of an Earth cycle. Earth cycles can range from 300 years to 1,000 years each time. Each time the temperatures will change. The Earth has its way of changing the way and coping. Like us as humans cope. Like our neighbours, the animals, are coping. Some don't, some do. Humans the same. Some will, some won't. But it's all grim and dim. Don't need to be grim and dim. What it is, basically, is change. Change that we've all got to get used to. And with climate as it's changing at the current stage, this year we reached 32. Who knows what next year's going on here? 32 to what? 42? And temperatures are not a joke, they are realistic. They will happen. But not yet. We're not in our lifetime, just yet. Well, it will happen in our lifetime. But when it happens in our lifetime, as you can see, it's quite dark. You can hear all the life around as I'm walking through this development. You know, man has created a walk through, in particular where I am. I mean, yeah. Come winter, it's be flourishing, blooming. Come the mid-some part of summer, it's going to be even worse.
Hi, they say, path not taken. Well, here I am taking one. Well, where were we? Life. Hope you enjoyed the old rerun. Now, here we are. Am I recording? Yeah, here we are. Oh. So, I said, oh God. 1 second. Yes, well, wonder how many times I'm going to have to edit this. This is out of the question. Oh my God. And it's still somewhat muddy in spite the beaming heat of today's weather. But where was we? Life. What can I say about life? Life is everywhere. It's amongst the trees. It's amongst the bushes. Even flowers. Life is such a wondrous thing. When we've got temperatures like we have at this moment in time, peaking higher and higher, how is this actually affecting us, one would say? Well, it can be affecting us in a bad way, but then again, it can be affecting us in a good way. Plants rely on the sun so they can bloom and grow. That's one good thing. But the bad side is, if the ground gets too hot, it becomes a hazard, a fire hazard, where life then is destroyed or destructed. It makes it impossible to know what is right and what is wrong. But when you smell the odours of life and wildlife, sometimes it can be bitter, sometimes it can be alright. At the moment I ain't seen no life where I'm walking. Yes, but this is a documentary on life. All around there's trees everywhere, shady, and I hear voices, lots of voices. I may have to cut it again. But anyway, like I said, voices. Well, where was I? That was it. But yeah, many obstructions do take place. You know, I look around and this particular part of the forest where I happen to be in, not much is happening. I'd expect something. But again, if you look around us, the world's blooming with life of all sorts. You know, sometimes you can get to be lucky and you get the odd thing like butterflies, insects rely on this weather. Well, you know, anything really relies on how good the weather actually is. But whilst we're in this sudden mass, we're in an October month, September month, and well, because of what I said in the earlier show, where the world may have tilted a little bit, this is what happens when we get stranger weather, unprecedented heat, And people always blame that thing from the eco side. Oh, the heat is from global warming, but the Earth changes. It changes in many ways. Its natural position in the solar system has a bigger impact on today's climate. Right, after choosing the path that I chose, here we are, life. Everywhere you may look upon it. All blooming from the spider to even a butterfly. You know, this is the way life is. Where would we be, us, in this blue marble we call Earth, with weather being consistent? Well, way back in the day it used to be. Now, not so sure these days, because all we've got is the temperatures being higher. Generally, you know, not only are they higher, but they are changing each and every decade, if you may. In each decade, Earth itself moves within this great big solar sphere, or our solar system. Sorry, I used the wrong word there. And with that, how it's changing. It's like I said in the last video, last episode. It's because Earth is changing its position, and that change has an impact on all life. Don't just have an impact on what we're having today's weather, what are we having tomorrow's weather. It has an impact that lasts a very, very long time. And of course, people are always blaming on, well, the eco, as I like calling them, maniacs, if you may, say, oh, it's global warming. No, it isn't global warming. It's the natural course of a planet's change, as it changes in life, as we, as humans, change in life. You know, and let's look at it. The sun. Without the sun, we need the sun. The plants, they need the sun. And, well, without the sun, plant life wouldn't last as well. Yes, sure, the downside of that is as the weather changes and gets hotter, as it may very well do, as it's getting hotter and hotter, you're looking upon the fact that, well, more fire hazard globally. We've seen an increase of that already. That ain't because of global warming. No, that is because Earth itself, as we know it, is changing. We see the impact now, us living now on Earth today. We see that impact now. And we reach out for so many excuses of why it's so hot. Well, no, it's just the natural, it's literally the natural phase of this world. Every world, I'm sure, and there's millions of them, they say, has its own unique change, its own unique, if you may, changing as it grows or as it gets older. Same as like our sun gets older. Earth and life is not much different. You know, you can walk in the Hibbonese, you know, coldest of weathers, but yet you'll find that it doesn't matter where you are in this particular situation. It just means that you're in a different part of the world where weather isn't too bright. But that can change, and it does indeed change. This so commonly is known, not as global warming. It's literally as the world evolves, same as the world revolves around our star, our sun. That is the meaning of many lives. Also can mean the death of many lives. But unfortunately, as we move on in life, and as life changes, we look on it and we know it's colder, it's hotter, it's forever changing. And basically I've just found a pond. You might find life there, but life does rely on that. I mean, there's life in every pond, where I've got to admit, where it needs many rays of the sun. And of course, without that, they'd find it hard to survive. Insects. It's about what we're looking at, insects. And with the insects, it's the way it is.
Life as we know it's changing. Life, how it's developing, how it is coping with extreme temperatures. So all I can say is, because I want to wind it up soon, it's getting late, and you're probably getting bored. I can almost feel some people yawning. But as humans, we are coping. We cope, and we will cope for many long years to come. Regardless to the weather, regardless to the temperament of mankind or even the animals of the kingdom, we all share the same chain of life, same chain of events. Extreme heats to extreme cold temperatures. And we're going to see a lot more of this. From the equation to current situation, the way life is. So until the next time I'm not, finally with the end of this show, this is Marty Mitchell, giving you an update on life on the new show Heatwave, episode 3. As you can tell, it's all about life and how it changes and how all the animals and us are coping. Till the next time I'm not, take care, be safe. I'll catch you all on a flip.
Well, as it started, we shall call it as an end. So I hope you all enjoyed that, and also the original, as we are well aware. I hope that it was thoroughly good, and I thank you very much for watching. Until then, or not, I guess, without the Eco Warriors, the path that I took is the path that I'm leaving. So until then, or not, if the weather's good, all welling and being, be safe, take care of yourselves, and very well be lucky. Till then, or not, I will catch you on the other side. Mwah!